In this video, we will review the tiller taper shaft assembly drawing. So after you've downloaded the tiller file, this is what you should be looking at. You should have 5 sheets. So let's take a look at this and see what's going on with it. So let's check our title block first. Tiller shaft assembly, BP 33B, sheet 1 of 5. Then we have a part number down the side. So this is the part number for our whole assembly. And we know that because if we took a look up here, tiller taper shaft assembly part number, it's shown here. Drawn by, checked by, released, all of that information. We have half scale, we have an order number, a tolerance for fractions, a tolerance for decimals, a non-specified tolerance on angles, which would be plus or minus 0.05 inches. We have a couple of notes. Make sure you always read your notes. Then we have an isometric pictorial view of the part, so 3D drawing of it. We have a front view and a left-hand side view. On the pictorial, we have callouts A, B, C, and D. But if we look at our bill of material, we don't have A's, B's, C's, and D's. We have item numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So over here, items 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. If we were trying to figure out what pieces they're talking about for A, B, C, and D, so let's figure out what item A is. If we looked at item A in the side view, we can see it's located towards the back of the drawing, so the back of the tiller shaft. And it's a large flange, so it would make sense to be looking at item number 3. If we went to our item numbers, we'd see item number 3. It's called slip-on ring. We have a part number, we have size information, material, COMM means commercial, so it's a purchase part. It doesn't have any specific notes for it. So that's how you would identify each of these pieces. Let's look at the bill of material though for 1 second. Okay, so on our bill of material, we have our quantity, description, part number, code, material note, and item number. Look at this very first line in your bill of material. There's no item number. That's because this first line is the top level of our bill of material, and it's the whole assembly altogether. So underneath that then, so our assembly is made up of items 1 through 6. So shaft, button, ring, bearing, gear, and screw. We can see that items number 1 through 5 each have a quantity of 1, but item number 6 is a quantity of 2. So 2 hex set screws. We can see some things have a material note on them. So the shaft, the button, and the gear all have material notes on them, but the ring, the bearing, and the screw all say commercial. So the button has note 1, the shaft assembly has note 2, and the screw has note 4. So note 1, note 2, and note 4. But then we have a note 3, 0.002 interference press fit. So here, note 3. So it's saying that items 1 and item 3, so the shaft and the ring, are to have a 0.002 interference press fit. So that's how they end up being joined. So sheet 1 is our assembly drawing. sheet number 2. So remember, on sheet 1, 36, 45, 43, 6-1 is the whole assembly. So we have that again. We have the same bill of material call out. But here we have some differences in the drawing. So it's given us more information about how these are to be put together, where they're to be set. Our third sheet is a drawing of the gear itself. Sheet number 4 is that button that's installed on the front. And sheet number 5. Sheet 5 is going to give us some information about finishing the part. Okay, so when you go to do the questions in your workbook or your handout, you're going to be working with sheet 1, the assembly drawing. So using that assembly drawing, you can go ahead and answer your questions in the workbook on the tiller taper shaft assembly drawing. And that concludes our review of the tiller taper shaft assembly drawing.